This family health and wellness segment is brought to you by GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Healthcare.
Suffering from heartburn? No more. Enotums neutralizes stomach acid on contact. Enotums chewable tablets. Fast relief.
Bloating, nausea, a painful and growling tummy. These are all symptoms of indigestion.
Most adults at some point or another are affected by indigestion and heartburn, but according to Nikki, it's not as hard as you may think to stop these uncomfortable symptoms in their track.
It's actually very simple if you know how.
Let's talk lifestyle and behavior choices and how these lead to indigestion and heartburn.
It has a lot to do with the modern lifestyle. So often we don't make conscious choices when we decide to eat, and it's those kinds of foods that lead to heartburn and indigestion. And then there's things like stress that play a huge role, not getting enough sleep. So all of those lifestyle choices can lead to digestive discomfort, indigestion and heartburn.
So what kinds of food are responsible for indigestion or heartburn?
Here we've got the usual suspects, and we all know that sugary foods, fatty foods, junk foods do lead to indigestion, they do lead to heartburn. A lot of us feel uncomfortable when we eat too many of these kinds of things. But a lot of us don't realize that there are also healthy foods, natural foods that can cause those feelings as well if they're not chewed and digested properly. Often with onions, with peppers, things that have got a thick skin, high cellulose factor in the foods, and chilies, your spicy foods can also lead to that heartburn feeling.
Does alcohol and smoking have a negative impact on digestion?
Absolutely. So alcohol, what it does is it relaxes what they call the esophageal sphincter in the throat. And what that really is a trapdoor that keeps the stomach acid where it should be. So when you drink alcohol, that relaxes, like everything relaxes when you drink alcohol, and that acid can come up, and that's where you get that uncomfortable sensation. With smoking, on the other hand, that disrupts the immune system, and it also affects the bacteria in the gut. So when we're talking gut, we're talking the intestine and the stomach. And when you've got an imbalance of the good bacteria in the gut, the pH balance starts to become disrupted, and that's where you get more acid.
When eating, what are good practices to ensure that food is properly digested to avoid indigestion and heartburn?
Most of us don't chew our food enough. We're so busy thinking about other things, we don't even know what's going on in our mouths. So we've got to really focus and be mindful of what we're eating and make sure that we chew properly. So digestion starts in the mouth.
Are there any foods that help prevent indigestion?
Absolutely. You've got a lot of foods that have got digestive enzymes in them. So if you look over there, we've got pineapples, kiwi fruits, papaya, and ginger is a really well-known digestive, especially if you're pregnant. Also beetroot greens, funnily enough, are also very good to aid digestion. Then you've got your high-fiber foods, your legumes specifically, oats. Any high-fiber food is really good to help digestive issues. Spices, raw honey, full of digestive enzymes, and olive oil, all of those things really help. Then there are people who can't digest raw food, so if you put those into a soup, your broccolis, your cabbages, your cauliflowers, if you make those into a soup, that's really alkaline, and that helps with most digestive issues, and it's very easy to take those foods in that form.
What activities or habits can precipitate the symptoms of heartburn or indigestion?
A really bad habit is eating while you're working. If you're working in front of the computer and you're really stressed out, it's not good for your digestion. Also, eating on the run is a really bad habit. If you're busy and you're running around and you grab a sandwich, you're not going to digest your food properly. Another one, which a lot of us are guilty of, is exercising too soon after eating. There's only so much blood, and it's either got to go to your digestive system or it's got to go to the big muscle groups. So if you're going to go and train once you've had a big meal, you're not going to have enough blood supply to help digestion.
What kind of lifestyle choices should one be considering to improve heartburn or indigestion experienced?
What I really think we should focus on is being mindful of when we're eating, what we're eating, and how we're eating, to make sure that we're not distracted when we're eating. That's a big one, so that we can enable that digestive process to work properly. Another thing to do is just keep in mind, if you're really stressed, if you're suffering from anxiety, get help, because that will affect your digestion in a big way.
When should one see a doctor?
You shouldn't experience symptoms of indigestion or heartburn for more than 24 hours, especially if you've taken steps to do something about it. So if it continues for 3 or 4 days, it's really a good idea to see your doctor to make sure there's nothing physical or mechanical going on. That said, in general, most of the time we can sort these things out really easily by modifying our diet and just being aware of what we're eating.
If you have any queries or concerns about this topic, we suggest you consult your medical practitioner.
Suffering from heartburn? No more. Enotums neutralizes stomach acid on contact. Enotums chewable tablets. Fast relief.